Tell us about Ida.
Yeah, hoarding. Hoarding is the word that they used to call that. Darrell Lason's mother, Ida.
Yes.
Darrell Lason's the drummer for the Four to Go. Yeah. And Alan Reed's cousin. Ida was one of the most delightful people that I've ever met. And Ida was just easygoing, a Liscombe girl for sure. We're from Liscombe.
A what girl?
Liscombe.
Liscombe.
That's where Freddie Baker, the man we talked about before, that's where he lived. It was a fishing village in Nova Scotia.
Oh, Liscombe.
It's now a tourist attraction, and they have hotels. You can go and stay in Liscombe.
Yeah.
Right, and that's where Darrell Lason would go, and that's where Alan Reed went. That's where he got beat up by Freddie and all that kind of stuff. And then Paul again, those two had ideal marriage. You couldn't look at them as two separate people, but their fluidity in their marriage was legend. It was legend. They just loved and cared for each other in such a way. And they were again two opposite. Ida was laid back and Paul was joking, and you could never ever get any serious comments out of Paul. We'd sit in the front porch and he'd be criticizing and farting and making fun of everybody, but he liked me out there with the young guys, right? And he liked to bait them. He would try to embarrass us, and Janet Manuel would come out and her little dogs would go by, and he would sit there and point at one of us, right? And then say to her, "Oh, the woman, look at her, taking those stupid little rugrats out." And we'd all be embarrassed, right, about that. Look at that, half a dog. And then we'd see a sports car go by, and he'd scream out, "Everybody driving, they're dragging your ass everywhere. Who the hell wants to do that? That's stupid," right? And he did it not to make the driver mad, but to get us going as kids. You couldn't outdo him. You learn, you never compete with Paul, right? And then Paul would let a big fart go in the middle of a hockey game, and he'd look at Darrell and say, "Oh, for God's sake. Gee, didn't I bring you up better than that?" That's who he was, and he was an engineer. He had the steam fitter's license. He worked in the bowels of the ship. He'd be the guy who went down with the ship whether he wanted to or not, right? And we would make fun of Darrell and just say his father was a big monkey wrench or whatever. So, and then he ended up working for Nova Scotia Light and Power.
Yeah,
and
but
he ran a huge
what about Ida here now?
Ida's as much as who Paul Lasons is, right? So Paul Lasons was military. And he was on a ship, so he had captain's rounds in the house. Ida was the complete opposite. Darrell, she spoiled him. We used to, I think we talked about it before, where Darrell Lasons never knew how to do his shoelaces when he was 5 or 6, and then we would just harass him. That was Ida's fault. And Darrell put a lot of weight on that he shouldn't have. She'd give him chocolate bars and that dead white Ben's bread.
Oh, so Darrell was like the chubby little...
Yeah, he was a chubby guy, yeah. And they were Ukrainians, and petahay, and all these brutal foods, right? That was all part of Darrell's
They're not brutal
upbringing.
foods, they're fattening foods.
Yeah, and they're not healthy in today's context, but that's what they ate. And we would go there and eat petahay and be sick for half an hour later, but we didn't tell anybody, right? Because that just clogged up the intestines big time. And Ida was just the most loving, caring person, and when you went there, you were always welcome. And most of the time she was shaking her head over her husband, who she loved, right? And some of the stuff he'd come up with, she couldn't control him, and she could care less to do that. That didn't matter to her, but she would react to it. And then Darrell's dad would sit in the bathtub with the transistor radio, having a bath, singing and carrying on, singing the Beatles and whatever, and Darrell would report back to us, and we were just, wow, Darrell's dad likes the Beatles. And he did, and he enjoyed the music. Those are the parents that left the house while we had it practiced and raised the house off the foundation whenever we could with our amps and drum playing and all the neighbors' kids looking in the window. They would just go, every Sunday they would choose on purpose to go and visit the relatives. But we began to realize what they were really doing and let us all stay in the house, and we all behaved. And Darrell Lasons had a little cat that adopted him, and Paul would just drive that cat crazy. Paul would be chasing up and down the stairs, and the cat would be hissing and running all over the place, and Darrell would sit and go, "Oh, God, Paul, jeez, my own father," right? And the cat loved it. The cat just loved it. And the cat was so used to our practicing that the cat would lay inside of the bass drum and go to sleep while we were playing, right?
That sounds hard to believe.
Yeah, and then
because it's pretty noisy.
Ida had 2 sisters. Well, the cat grew up in the environment, so the cat, it was normal. right? And then the cat being chased all over the house with Paul chasing it and hissing and screaming and whatever. That was all part of the cat just thought this is how it is, right? And Daryl telling him, for Christ's sake, shut, leave the cat alone. Feel sorry for the cat, right? And Ida's the one who had the sisters who came to the house. She had 2 sisters. I believe they were both older than she was. And they took household engineering to a completely new level. Their houses were perfect. The floors were shined, the stove, everywhere. It was incredibly germ, dust-free, laundry-free. Everything was done. The pair of them. So they would gang up on Ida. So they would come to Ida's house to visit for the weekend or be there without their husbands. Husbands and drive them over and drop them off, right? So the 3 women could be together. And Ida was a good housekeeper, but she couldn't beat them. They would always find something. So once she didn't get the laundry done in time, so she hid it in the basement. And why do we know this? Because we were there in the basement, smoking, thinking nobody could notice, of course, that we were smoking. But Ida and Paul both smoked, right?
Oh.
And they were in the house, and we could hear them talking upstairs. We thought that was normal. And suddenly, the women come downstairs. Well, they're going to inspect the basement. Now they go, no, that isn't in the program. Sure it is. Basement's just as important as the rest of the house, right? So, of course, they find the laundry, and it's just like they got like a hotel, and go, oh, that's 6 to Bear Point. Laundry's not done. It's not folded, right? And then, of course, Ida has to wash it. She just knew that's how it went. And when you went to their houses, one of them was married to a Kent. That was Alan Kent's mother. Then, actually, when you went in the house, there were newspapers laid out after she waxed the floor. And you had to walk on the papers, right? And you definitely had to leave your boots at the front door. If you made that mistake, you were dead. Oh, you were just demeaned and thrown out on your ass. And these are big women. They didn't take any of that crap. They didn't kindly ask you to take them off. If you didn't do it, they go, oh, how the hell are you brought up? What is the matter with your mother? She doesn't even tell you that. What kind of housekeeper is she? So you learned, yeah. You did what those women told you.
Yeah, you were representing your mother's best.
Yeah, that's right. They do just how to do it, right? And that's how Ida suffered or didn't suffer under some of that. I don't think Ida changed her ways, but that we learned about those. And they all loved and cared for each other deeply. And you could see that. There was a lot of love on Daryl's side of the family. But they're all a little crazy. And Daryl would always verify that, right? So that's the story on that.
So Ida, and you told me the funny story of how they would check above the doors.
Yeah, they'd run their fingers all over the door because we had frames around all the doors and casements everywhere, up in the bathroom, down their knees, check behind the toilet, make sure it's waxed evenly all the way around, right? And no dust.
So why were they so to Ida?
There was a standard to be maintained. You want the seal of good housekeeping? That's the way they were. Who knows? And Ida kept a pretty good, clean house, but it wasn't nearly up to their standard. They were fanatics in their own
So
way.
what were they, the sisters? They were the older sisters or younger
her two
sisters?
older sisters. As I recall, they were both the older sisters, right?
2 older sisters.
Yeah, and they had those nagging voices that you hate. They could wear you down bad.
They were
They knew.
like Homer Simpson or on The Simpsons, the two sisters of.
Well, I'm sure that they had double sets of eyes. You never got away with anything around those 2 women ever, and they ran a good ship. Their ship, boy, it was ship-shape, totally, completely.
Were they married?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alan, Kent, and the Reeds. They're all married.
And where did they live?
Halifax.
Oh, they lived in Halifax.
Yeah.
So when they came over to Dartmouth, they.
No, the sisters would visit, and sometime Alan would, but not too often. They come for a hockey game. Hockey game was a big deal. That was where a lot of socializing, but usually they went to Halifax and visit them over there. But then, why did they usually go? Because we were practicing in the basement.
So the hockey games, you had the hockey night in Canada.
Yeah. Well, The Bridge on the River Kwai was one of the very first quality movies to ever come on television. And on Slater Street, at the showing of that movie, it was better than a hockey game. When a good hockey game was on, there wasn't a car moving, there wasn't anybody going up and down the street, there was nothing. They were all at home watching the game. And when Bridge on the River Kwai was on television, it was the same. It was just super quiet. I remember looking out the window. Nobody. And The Bridge in the River Kwai was a good movie. And why it was first shown on television, I have no idea. I watched it recently, and it definitely holds over time. It is still a good movie, and it still captures you. And I thought it was true, but it's a made-up movie.
Yeah.
But it's so well done.
So hockey night in Canada, back when I was...
Montreal and Toronto.
It was...
There's nobody else playing, right? Boston, no, the rest of them forget it. Red Wings, no way. No.
So, what were you fans of there in Nova Scotia?
Yeah, we were Toronto or we were...
Toronto?
Toronto or Montreal, it didn't matter which, right?
It was...
So you would choose whatever. I could care less. I hated sports. But you had to choose. You had to choose a side, right? So I think Jacques Plante, he was the goalie for Montreal. And Montreal was so good that half the game, Jacques Plante had nothing to do. So he would step out of the goal and taunt the other side and go over and stand and orchestrate people outside the goalie like this, swinging his hands, getting them to sing and do all this stuff. And then they'd start pointing that something was coming. He'd go, yes, nothing, right? And then he would just slip back into the goal just enough to save it. That I remember, that craziness, right?
Jacques Plante.
Jacques Plante, yeah. So of course he was our favorite. He was like the drummer. He was the oddball in the hockey game, right? So Jacques, he held his own. He carried his own, right? He let some slip in that way too.
And that was the days before they had the hockey masks from the goalie.
Yeah. No, they never wore masks. No way. That ruined the game, right? You'd rather get one in the mouth. You can fix the teeth.
They didn't,
no, you want your.
They didn't fix the teeth. When they smiled, they had no
throw
teeth.
them away. Yeah.
I remember them.
That's my.
You said your dad liked.
No, he loved talking. He would go to the licenses. Always Daryl's house we went to.
Oh, okay.
Always went to Daryl's place, yeah. And then the Silva had big, extra wide arms.
Okay, well, hang on, Larry. That's a different story. Let's just hang on.
This is the hockey story. You set me up for this.